What's up, YouTube? It's your boy John from Project Ellsworth. I saw last month that Joe the Horror Man and Jason from Horrific Nightmares started a series for the horror community called the Top 20 for 2020. And last month they were doing home invasion films. At least that's the one that I found out about this series through. I couldn't get anything together in time to get that in. Like I said, I was a bit late to the party. This month I wanted to make sure I got something in. So this is my first contribution to that video series. This is my top 20 for 2020 1990 horror films. Please enjoy. Alright, let's get into it. Coming in at number 20 is 1996's Scream. I might get roasted right off the bat for this. I have never been the biggest Scream fan in the world, and quite honestly, I think that movie is on my number 20, or my top 20 list, and coming in at number 20, just because of that movie's importance. I think that breathed new life into the pop culture, horror movie pop culture. Like I said, I've never been a big fan of that movie. I really don't like the characters in that movie, and I think that movie's on my list because it just should be. Alright, coming in at number 19, 1992's Hellraiser 3. I was a very gigantic fan of Hellraiser 1, and almost as much of a fan as Hellraiser 2. Not real crazy about this movie. I don't think it's as good as those two entries are, but I like it. It's fun. So, it's on my list. Coming in at number 18 is 1990's remake of Night of the Living Dead. I love the original. I like the original more than this one. But I do like Tony Todd's performance in this movie. I think it's really good. I thought it was very well made. Very enjoyable. I watched it recently and forgot how much I actually liked that movie. Alright, coming in at number 17 is 1996's Thinner. This is another adaptation of a Stephen King project. I thought this movie was fun too. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's about a guy who is drastically losing weight because he killed someone, killed an Indian, and he had a curse put on him. Pretty good movie. Alright, coming in at number 16 is 1994's Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I do have this on Blu-ray, but it's inside of a box set. Same thing with the Scream. I don't own that individually. I had it on DVD, but when I got the Blu-ray box set, I got rid of it. Anyway, back to this movie. I did a review on every movie in the Nightmare on Elm Street series recently, about a month and a half ago, and I actually forgot how much I liked this movie. I saw this movie in the movie theater with a couple of my friends, and we had a really good time back then, and I had a really good time when I watched it again recently. That series took a dive for me, and I fell out of love with that series, but that movie actually was pretty darn good. Alright, coming in at number 15 is 1994's John Carpenter film, In the Mouth of Madness. This is a movie that I need to go back and revisit. I watched this a lot of times when I was a kid. This was something that played pretty regularly on cable, but I do need to sharpen this one back up, so maybe there's a movie review coming for this film. Alright, coming in at number 14, this is another one that I don't own individually, I only own the box set, is Ringu. This is where we got The Ring. This is the Japanese version. It's a much better film than The Ring is, which is usually the case with those films. Japanese and Korean films are just fantastic, and when we do an adaptation to those films, we never do those films justice. And The Ring is just a perfect example of that. Alright, coming in at number 13 is 1990's The Graveyard Shift. I did a review of this movie last month, and this is another one that I forgot actually how much I enjoyed this movie. Very cool movie. It takes place in a wet, dimly lit, moldy basement of like an old mill. Check it out. It's a fun movie. Alright, coming in at number 12 is 1992 Dead Alive / Brain Dead, Peter Jackson. This is one of the bloodiest, most ridiculous movies that I've ever seen in my life. The story's not all that much, but if you're a gorehound like I am, this has definitely got to be on your list. This movie's just a lot of fun. It's pretty ridiculous. There's a scene in this movie where a dude is killing zombies with a lawnmower. It's pretty amazing. All right, coming in at number 11 is 1998's Apt Pupil. I never hear anybody talking about this movie. It's another adaptation of a Stephen King writing, and I just thought that this was fantastic. Very creepy. This kid is creepy as hell in this movie. It's a fantastic movie. This dude was a Nazi. He went into hiding, and that kid found him. It's awesome. If you have not seen this movie, you should check it out. All right, coming in at number 10 is 1990's Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, Leatherface. This is another one I recently did a review on. This is a great movie, too. Once again, it harkens back to my childhood. I remember watching this movie over and over and over on cable. Fantastic movie. It's a far cry from what Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 was. I hated that movie. A lot of people out there love that movie. I am not one of those. This movie was far better than that one was. Very good entry into the franchise. Coming in at number 9 is Misery. I thought this movie was fantastic as well. Another Stephen King adaptation. I thought that this movie was just creepy as could be. Kathy Bates was amazing in this movie. James Caan was fantastic, as he always is. Well, both of those actors are fantastic in everything that they do. Most people have seen this movie. Most people are what they remember is the sledgehammer to the ankle scene. Fantastic. Check it out. The whole thing's great. Next up, number 8 is 1995's Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. One of the rules of this contest was that you could only have one entry per franchise. Halloween 6, I chose this one over H2O. It was not an easy decision because I actually do enjoy both of those movies. Halloween's my favorite franchise in horror, but it definitely has a few clunkers here and there. Halloween, H2O, and Curse of Michael Myers are both good movies in my opinion. I just prefer this one today. Who knows, if I make this list tomorrow, H2O may be on it. Alright, coming in at number 7 is 1997's Event Horizon. Believe it or not, to my shock, I was going through and pulling my DVDs today, and I don't own Event Horizon. So I'll just put a picture of it right here. That's a great movie too. Spaceship disappears, several years later it's found, and it's carrying all kinds of mysteries, and it's a fantastic movie. It's sincerely as scary as hell. Check that one out if you haven't already. Coming in at number 6 is 1995's Seven. A lot of people may or may not think that this is a horror movie. They may call this a thriller, but this is my list, and this movie scared the shit out of me when I saw it the first time. This movie's fantastic. All the acting in here, Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, fantastic across the board. What's the dude's name? Kevin Spacey. Everybody does a fantastic job in this movie. This movie's just wonderful. I saw this movie in the movie theater and walked out of there with my jaw hanging open. Great movie. The ending will mess you up. Alright, coming in at number 5 is 1996 From Dusk Till Dawn. This is way up there on my list of Quentin Tarantino movies. I think my list of those movies would probably differ quite a bit than other people's movies would as well. I just thought this movie was great. I know somebody who saw this movie for the first time and did not know that this was a vampire movie. When I saw it, I did know it was a vampire movie, and I only wish that I could have gone into this movie completely blind and experienced that shock when I saw it. That had to be an awesome movie-going experience. Alright, coming in at number 4 is 1999's Audition. Takashi Miike's movie is wonderful. This is a very slow burn. I did a movie review on this probably about a month ago. Outstanding movie. I never get tired of watching it. This is another movie, like I said, very slow burn. Very interesting as it's burning. Once you get to the end, that movie is absolutely unforgettable. Makes you never want to play the piano. Alright, number 3 is 1999's The Blair Witch Project. I did not see this on anyone's list. I watched a couple of these videos before I recorded this today, and I was actually surprised that this movie wasn't on anyone's list. Not only do I just enjoy this movie, a lot of people are let down by the ending of this movie. I'm not. I saw this movie in the movie theater. I remember all the hype with this movie when it came out, and I love this movie. I thought it was extremely well made. I thought there were parts of this movie that were legitimately scary as hell. The ending of this movie with that dude standing in the corner is just is nightmare fuel to me. And not only did I enjoy this movie is incredibly important in the landscape of horror movies. So out of the utter respect and the sheer joy that I get when I watch this movie, the Blair Witch Project is very high on my list. I love that movie. All right, number 2 is 1992's CANDYMAN. This is another movie that I had a fantastic movie-going experience with my buddies when it came out. Tony Todd's fantastic in this movie. I've met him. He's an incredibly nice guy, so friendly, so outgoing and outspoken. He, joking around with me, playing around with me. Good dude, great movie, absolutely legendary character. We're getting ready to get a Jordan Peele reboot or reimagining of that movie. I'm very curious. I know Tony Todd is in it, but he is not Candyman, so I'm curious to see how that plays out. But CANDYMAN, absolutely legendary movie. Fantastic. And the number 1 movie on my list is 1991's The Silence of the Lambs. You may or may not consider this to be a horror movie, but again, this is my list, and I absolutely consider this to be a horror movie. It's a serial killer, it's a cannibal. That movie was incredibly well made, arguably the best well-made horror movie of the 1990s. It won the Academy Award. Absolutely legendary movie. I think it was definitely a notch in our belt for the horror movie community that a horror movie won the Academy Award that year. Fantastic movie, absolutely legendary. Spawned several sequels, some of which were better than others, obviously. Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal the Cannibal was wonderful. Jodie Foster was wonderful. Everything about that movie was wonderful. So that's it, folks. That's my list. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up. If you really liked the video, please do me a favor and click that subscribe button. I would love for you to go on this journey with me. Leave me some comments down below of what your favorite movies of the 1990s were. I would love to hear you get your opinion, and I would love to talk about it. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Have a kick-ass day, and thank you for watching.